There is nothing worse than receiving these emails after generating amazing leads and preparing a solid sequence because our emails are being blocked. To avoid this, let's warm up your email address. Why do we do this? We do this to increase your deliverability. In other words, to set the right conditions so that your emails will not end up in the spam folder of your recipients, but in their primary inbox. It's essential, especially if your email address is relatively new or you've never used it before to outreach. How long does it take? Well, setting it up is really easy, but it usually takes a month to warm up your email address. So this is why it's the very first step to take. How does it work? Well, we use a tool that automatically exchanges emails between the community members to imitate human behavior and give the impression to email providers like Gmail or Outlook that you are actually manually sending these emails. What solution do we use? Well, different solutions exist like Lemwarm, Instantly, and GMass. But I recommend Lemwarm. It costs $29 per month. I suggest this one because mostly it's part of Lemlist, the tool we use to automate our sequences. Here is a step-by-step tutorial to set it up. First, you have to visit lemlist.com/Lemwarm and create an account. Then you need to set up your DNS with a custom tracking domain, also SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. So basically you or your website administrator to add those DNS records. It can be tricky for the first time, so follow this tutorial and let's have a look at it together. All right, for Lemlist, you need first to set up the custom domain name. You need to go to your domain provider and edit your domain DNS records and add a type CNAME. So you need to access your DNS zone. And I'm going to show you the DNS we already created for Lemlist. Here we go. So you need to, for the name or the host, you need to set trail, for instance. And then for the hostname value point, you need to set that for custom.lemlist.com. So basically this is how it looks. track.devlo.com and CNAME. Very easy. Then you need to set up the SPF. Same story, but it's now a TXT record. It's not a CNAME. And this is the value you need to set. And it's gonna be also here in your DNS record. Right here, devlo.ch, TXT, and this is what you need to set. Third, you need to add the DKIM. You need to go and get the key in your Google admin account. Basically, you need to access apps, Google Workspace, Gmail, and then here, authenticate email, and you get your DKIM key. And you will enter this key right here. This is the process if you are on Microsoft 365. And lastly, you need to set the DMARC. DMARC, you need to enter another TXT record with this value right here. Coming back to the presentation, as soon as you finished configuring your DNS, you need to test everything. You come in the DNS check, and here you're going to refresh. And everything here should be green. If everything is here is green, you are all set to start warming up your account. As you can see here, I have been doing this for a long time now. I sent 3,146 emails and my deliverability status is pretty good. You need to set up the number of mail you want to send. So 3 to 4 weeks before you start your sequence. If your email address is younger than 6 months, you need to set 30 emails per day. And you need to have the ramp up increment value as 1. On the other hand, if your email address is older than 6 months, you can go up to 40 with an increment value to 2. Then there is the ongoing phase even after you start your sequence. It's 40 and 2. So very easy. And this is very important. By the way, according to Lemlist, who did a research while monitoring 1,000 users, if you want to set the right environment to reach an 80% open rate, it really makes sense to keep Lemwarm active after the initial warm-up phase. For information, another option is GMass, and it's free. However, users are not allowed to set up filters to automatically archive these emails because it reduces the warm-up effectiveness for other users. And users who actually do set up filters can be removed from the network. A major problem is that you receive many email notifications and these emails, they disappear from your inbox only after 30 minutes. It's pretty annoying because your inbox doesn't look neat and you constantly get disturbed. With Lemwarm, you won't get disturbed since it's allowed to set up filters automatically to archive emails. Good job! Now your email address is being warmed up while we generate leads.